How many books have you read? How many podcasts have you listened to? How many journal pages have you filled? How many healing courses have you taken? And yet you still feel stuck. You still overthink. You still attract the same people. You still doubt your own ability. What the problem is that you don't need more healing. What if the real problems that you've built your entire identity around being someone who is healing? Because there is a huge difference between healing from a wound and becoming a person whose entire identity is a wound. And that's exactly what we're talking about today. So, for years, I thought the answer was more healing, more self awareness, more inner child work, more understanding, more processing, more closure. And don't get me wrong, because healing does matter. But I've spent years helping people recover from toxic relationships, narcissistic abuse, trauma bonds, and emotional wounds. But eventually, I started noticing something. Some people were healing, and some were becoming professional healers of themselves. One group was moving forward, and the other literally stayed stuck. Not because they were not working hard, because they had unknowingly built an identity around being broken. So, let's talk about it. The trap that nobody talks about. Here's something that most people won't tell you. The healing journey can become addictive. Okay, not because healing is bad, but because your brain loves familiarity. If you spent years identifying as I'm wounded, I'm damaged, I'm recovering, I'm trying to heal, what happens is that your brain starts treating those labels as who you are, basically. And then something strange happens. Every decision gets filtered through this identity. So you basically stop asking, what would my future self do? And you start asking, what would a healing person do? So you stop creating, you stop processing, you stop building anything, you start to analyze, you stop becoming, and you start revisiting again and again and again. Okay, so let's look at this. Okay, the story of Sarah. And let me tell you about basically someone that I basically had as a client. So let's call her Sarah, just for curiosity's sake. Sarah spent 5 years studying narcissistic abuse. 5 years. Yep. She could explain trauma bonding better than most therapists, believe it or not. She knew every red flag that was out there, every manipulation, every psychological term, but she was miserable. One day she said something that really changed everything. She said, Anushka, why do I still feel like a victim even though I understand everything? Understanding isn't transformation. Knowledge isn't identity. You can understand your prison perfectly and still live inside it. The issue wasn't that Sarah needed more healing. The issue was that she still saw herself as a wounded person. That's the difference. Everything revolved around this old story, every conversation, every thought, every decision that she had. The abuse had ended, but the identity remains. Your brain protects who it thinks you are. This is one of the most powerful psychological truths you'll basically ever understand. Your brain works hard at protecting your identity than it does to achieve your goals. Read that again. Your identity says, I'm someone who struggles. Your brain will basically find the evidence in the environment. If your identity says, I'm unlucky in love, your brain will find that evidence. If your identity says, I'm still healing, your brain will create reasons to keep healing because identities create behaviors, behaviors create outcomes, outcomes reinforce those identities. It's a loop. It's really a loop. And most people are trapped inside it without even realizing it. The fitness exam. Okay, this is what I want you to do. I want you to imagine two people trying to get fit. The first person says, I'm trying to lose weight. The second person says, I'm an athlete. Who do you think sticks with the habits longer? The athlete. Why? Because their behavior matches their identity. They're not forcing discipline. They're expressing who they believe they are. The same thing happens emotionally. Someone who says, I'm trying to become confident, they'll act differently from someone who says, I am a confident person who is learning new skills. Small difference, but a massive impact. Why some people never leave the healing phase. And this is very sad. This might sting a little. Some people don't actually want to leave the healing phase, not consciously, but subconsciously, because healing gives them a community, an explanation, a sense of purpose, a familiar identity. If they stopped being the wounded person, who would they become? And that is terrifying because healing is familiar, reinvention is unknown, and the brain almost always prefers familiarity over unfamiliar freedom. And this is why there are so many communities out there, or so many YouTube channels that literally breed this victim mentality. So I always say in the lives and the videos, do not think of yourself as a victim. Yes, what happened to you, your experience is awful. Yes, it was really bad. And I'm not saying that it's not, but don't identify with the whole identity of being a victim, because you will never leave that space. You are always going to be thinking that you're a victim, and you'll never be able to move past it. I have seen it. I have seen it so many times. And this is why so many YouTube channels, for example, are huge. You know, like in terms of subscribers, the views are huge because they are stuck in that victim mentality. That person is saying the same thing over and over again. How many more videos are you going to watch? This is what I said at the beginning. How many more videos are you going to be watching? How many more blogs are you going to be reading, podcasts you're going to be listening to? I understand that you're trying to get like new information, or trying to look for new information or something that's going to click it, and then suddenly you're going to know. You already know everything. You already know it. And this is where you got to start trusting yourself. Yeah, it's scary. Yes, it is. But this is where you got to start trusting yourself. Because when you do, your life, your reality will change. The question that changed my life. Years ago, right, I stopped asking, what do I need to heal? And started asking, who do I need to become? Everything changed because healing focused on the past. Identity focuses on the future. Healing asks, what's happened to me? Identity asks, who am I creating? Healing asks, why am I like this? Identity asks, who am I choosing to be today? And one question keeps you looking backwards, the other pulls you forward. So the identity shift exercise. Right, my friends, I want you to try something, okay? Grab a piece of paper. At the top, write, who have I been? List all the labels. For example, victim, people pleaser, overthinker, anxious, abandoned, broken, not good enough. Write them all down. Then underneath all of that, write, who am I becoming? Not what you want, but who are you becoming? That could be something like resilient, confident, grounded, self-respecting, emotionally intelligent, secure, abundant, powerful. Really go to town with this, yeah? Now, here's the really impactful part. Start making decisions from the second list, not the first one, because every decision casts a vote for your future identity. Why affirmations often fail. I'm not against affirmations, but this is why they fail. And I really just want to put this in here. Affirmations are powerful, and I do believe in them, and they're really good at cognitively aligning your mind. But this is why they fail for some people. People think, identity change is repeating affirmations. It's not. You don't become confident because you say, I'm confident. You become confident because you repeatedly act like someone who values themselves. Identity is built through evidence, not words. Every boundary you set, every difficult conversation that you have, every time you stop chasing someone, every time you choose yourself, you're collecting evidence. Evidence becomes belief. Belief becomes identity. Here is the danger of staying in the story. At some point, your survival story stops serving you. And it does, my friends. It gets old. I know that's hard to hear because, do you know what? Your story does matter. All right. Your pain that you went through, that does matter. What happened to you matters. But eventually, there comes a moment where repeatedly telling the story no longer heals the wound. It simply keeps the wound open. And there comes a time when the most healing thing that you can do is to stop introducing yourself to life through your pain. You are more than what happened to you. You are more than who hurt you. You are more than your diagnosis, for example. You are more than your trauma. You are more than your past. This is why I've always said this on every live stream. Stop thinking about who they were, what was going on. You now need to look forward to the new version, to the new you, not looking backwards. We can't do that, my friends, because it is only going to hurt you. What your future self knows. Imagine meeting the version of you 5 years from now, okay? The healed version, the secure version, the successful version, the peaceful version. What do they spend their time thinking about? Probably not the same things that you're obsessing over today, do they? No. They aren't replaying old conversations. They aren't checking who's watching their stories. They aren't wondering why someone couldn't love them. They're building, they're creating, they're living. They're experiencing life, they're growing because they no longer identify with that old chapter, with that old character. Identity creates destiny. The life you're moving forward to isn't created by your goals. No, it's not. It's created by your identity. Goals are temporary. Identity is permanent. Goals tell you what you want. Identity determines what you'll constantly do. That's why two people can have the same goal and get completely different results. The difference isn't effort. The difference is identity. Maybe you don't need another course. Maybe you don't need another explanation. Maybe you don't need another video telling you why they did what they did. Maybe you've already learned enough. Maybe it's time to stop asking, how do I heal? And start asking, who am I becoming? Because your future isn't waiting for you to understand every wound. Your future is waiting for you to choose an identity that's bigger than the wound. The moment that you stop identifying as the person who is recovering in that victim mentality, and you start identifying as the person who is creating, everything changes, not overnight, but permanently. So my friends, if this video resonated, comment below, I am becoming, because today isn't about who you've been, it's about who you are choosing to become in your future. And if you're ready to start rewiring your mindset, creating a new identity, check out the Daily Rituals Club. There's also the Journal Club and resources in the description box below. So until next time, keep healing, keep growing, but most importantly, don't just heal, live your life, my friends.